What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadski, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And of course we have treasure map starting up for the month of March for the worldwide anniversary. And for this one we're up against Esper slash Vegapunk. And for this one we are going to be using the same teams that I kind of talked about yesterday or the day before, talking about my own personal teams and kind of just breaking down how everything goes. But now that we actually have the content to play against, we can actually understand how some of these fights work, more particularly the Vegapunk fight, because it was a little confusing with the way that it was kind of worded. We didn't really understand. Like, we can understand that there were going to be two characters on the final boss stage, but I digress. We'll talk about it once we get there. As for the first one, though, against Esper, the intrusion battle fight, this one is pretty straightforward. So the way that I'm dealing with the gimmicks in this quest is that I've got Atlas, which I recently pulled. So this character is actually pretty decent overall. The main reason why we use Atlas in Stage 2 is because her special ability allows us to remove the enemy's rainbow shield, and it also gives us an attack boost. But one of the most important things about it, which is kind of cool actually, is that it actually removes the enemy's damage reduction based on slots. Now for this team it doesn't really matter, but hypothetically if you didn't have S-Snake, and you wanted to save like the S-Snake EX Super for the final stage, having access to Atlas is really good for this stage. It counters a lot of the stuff here. But of course we are going to be using S-Snake because we have two of them, one of them to deal with stage 2 and then one of them to deal with stage 3. So we move on from that into the final stage against Esper, and from that point we can just use the S-Hawk special, which gives a color affinity boost, just giving us some additional damage. It also deals with damage threshold and attack down, which are good for both the Esper stage and the Vegapunk stage. The attack down for this stage, the damage threshold against Vegapunk, and then S-Snake with her special ability and the Rush Sugo special does do a lot of damage here. It is a little bit strange though, because the Rush, the fact that it reduces your HP every time you tap, does actually hinder the usability of the potential ability of Barrier Pierce against Kuma or Esper. So yeah, that does make it a little annoying, but all things considered the damage is still quite high, so I don't think it's going to be a big issue moving forward. The first Battle Rush boss that we took on in this event was against Atlas. Atlas is very, very easy. If you got your hands on Kuzan 6 Plus from the most recent events last month, yeah, Kuzan's going to carry through this event. Just use Kuzan special. That's all you really need to do. We do have Zorojiro to wave clear the first two stages to make things a bit easier. Remember that if you are using Kuzan Captain, you do need at least one strength unit and one dex unit on your team alongside Kuzan Captain to ensure that Kuzan's abilities are fully activated. And then we just fill it out with some other units that were boosted that I haven't put on some other teams. But Kuzan special deals with all the gimmicks here, and his Captain ability deals with the matching slots, and that's all you really need in order to take down the Atlas fight. The next Battle Rush boss that I took on was against Shaka. I'm really happy about this team actually, the Halloween Ace team. Halloween Ace as a captain deals with 10 turns of special bind and 10 turns of special reverse, so we just don't have to worry about any of those gimmicks at all. The only real issue is that you are dealt with 6 turns of paralysis, which is why we have the treasure map legend Luffy, who deals with that. He also deals with special bind as well, so like hypothetically if you didn't want to use Halloween Ace as a captain, you could just go ahead and use this Luffy. We also have double down as a support attached to Luffy, which gives us a resistance down and an orb boost when we reach the final stage, so that when we activate Luffy's special we get his attack boost, and that's basically it. We do wave clear with Izo and Okiko on stage 2 to give us the chain lock that is carried over. I did forget to use it on stage 2 in this team example, but we use it on the final stage anyway, and then Brook of course can wave clear one of the stages as well. The next Battle Rush boss is up against the Edison and Pythagoras boss. This one is a little tricky. They really wanted you to go ahead and use the free-to-play Grand Feast Vegapunk character as a captain with the 5+, remove the special bind via his captain ability and his special, and then you can remove the bomb slots counted as badly matching. Yes, that is the way to get around it. That's what they recommend. However, the old school way of Double Cat, Viper, Dogstorm, and then you've got Hiyori to give you those Wano slots, this always works. It's such a good team. I use it pretty much every TM. It's just awesome. It gets the job done. We have the Wano slots. We don't have to worry about the badly matching bomb slots. If we need to remove special bind, we can do it also. So this team works very, very well. And then the final of the Battle Rush bosses is against Lilith. Lilith is, again, a little bit tricky, but not too bad. We're going to be using the S-Shark free-to-play unit as well as the most recent rare recruit of Jinbei. These two characters with their specials alone deal with all of the gimmicks in this quest. The rest of the characters that surround them are just to kind of supplement them. We do have Vista to wave clear the first two stages. We're using Frankie as the captain. No real reason why. We can just use Frankie. It doesn't really matter. And then we are using the free-to-play Vegapunk on the team as well, so that if we activate the S-Shark special and we want to go ahead and switch him into the captain position and use his super type, we can do that. However, in the early stages of TM, not really required to do so. And then moving on to the final boss, which is of course up against Vegapunk. So it was very confusing when we first saw the details and the gimmicks of this fight, because the final stage had a lot of things going on, but when you actually reach the final stage, it does make sense why it all works the way it does. So you are kind of target locked into attacking Stussy. However, if you activate S-Snake's special, which is what I would suggest you guys do, is it's going to activate the, the Love status, which means that the Vegapunk, who is almost untouchable in a way, because you are also limited to 2 taps. So you got 2 taps, which makes things a lot more difficult as well. And what they want you to do is to kill Stussy, and then on the next turn, you can then kill Vegapunk. It's basically how it works, and you can do that via activating Love status. If you don't activate that status on the enemy, then Vegapunk will activate lots of negative effects on you, so it is better to just, kill them over 2 turns. However, depending on your team composition, like what we have here, we can actually kill them in 1 turn, at least in the early periods of this treasure map, which is nice, because we use the Rush Suga special of S-Snake, and it does allow us to just give us a lot of additional damage. And because we're only 2 tapping, S-Snake with the rush kills Stussy, and then we can activate like another strength unit to do a lot of damage. We also see that there is resilience on Vegapunk's side, which means that he does allow himself to survive an additional turn. But if you're inflicting Love status and you're killing him on the 2nd turn, the resilience is going to be gone anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But if you did want to kill him in 1 turn, having a resilience support is very, very much needed. But overall, this treasure map is not as difficult as we kind of expected. I feel like this is definitely one of the easier ones we've seen over the last few months. There have been some pretty rough ones, but this one is still somewhat difficult because you do need to have the appropriate units to get through it. But the Vegapunk fight is definitely the most difficult of these fights, but it definitely is doable without the most recent units. But hopefully you enjoyed this video today. Good luck on your treasure map grind, and hopefully you get some good rewards out of it. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to go ahead and leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. And that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.